What is going on, beautiful people, and welcome back to the Sacramento Kings MyLeague series here on NBA 2K21. And the Kings are sitting at 10-14 on the season. They're doing a lot better than most people expected them to, and they've won 3 of their last 4 games, but now have a very tough opponent in the Memphis Grizzlies, who are led by Kawhi Leonard now, but they still have Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. as well as Jonas Valanciunas and Dylan Brooks. De'Aaron Fox is going to be playing in this game for the Kings with a broken nose. He suffered a few weeks ago, and he's still feeling the effects of that broken nose, so we'll have to see how he does in this game, having to deal with Morant and the rest of this Grizzlies team. And when you look at the standings, the Grizzlies are actually second in the West, a half game behind the Spurs, while the Kings are 2.5 games out of the 8th spot in the West, so they're not too far behind the Trailblazers, who are sitting at 8th. But they got to find a way to win games like this against really good opponents, as Kawhi Leonard goes right to the rack and gets a bucket. Memphis takes an early 2-0 lead. Now here's De'Aaron Fox on the other side. Nice pick from Bagley. And Fox not going to get the bucket, but he does get the foul. Gets to the line, makes both free throws, so we're tied at 2. But now Fox is going to be stripped, and here's Leonard down the court. And he's going to pull up from the free throw line and makes it a 4-2 game. So now here are the Grizzlies running in transition. Here's Leonard. Passes inside to Valanciunas, and he slams it down. So it's a 6-2 lead for the Grizzlies about 2.5 minutes in. Here's Fox taking it to the rack, passes inside to Bagley this time, and he gets the bucket to go. So now we're tied at 6 after some free throws, under 8 minutes to go in the first quarter, and Fox going to slam it down. And the Kings take an 8-6 lead now. So here's Fox. More pick and roll action between him and Bagley. He gets Valanciunas the jump, and he's going to get the bucket. So now a 4-point Sacramento lead. And now here's the mitten, Gary Payton II, and he's going to drain the 3. Makes it a 15-8 lead for the Kings. And now here's Kyle Kuzma pulling up, no good. Rebounded by Bagley. And he gets the putback to go. So now the Kings up 17-8. But now here's a lob to Clark, and he's going to get it in. Nice pass there from Morant. So now 17-12, under 4 minutes to go in the quarter. And Grayson Allen just going to pull up for 3. And he drains it, so it's 20-12 now. And here's the mitten getting the steal, looking like his dad there. And now KCP gonna throw the lob to Grayson Allen. And the Kings have a 10-point lead. And they're firing on all cylinders now in this first quarter. So now here's Morant working against Payton II. And he pulls up, and it's good. So 22-14. And now here's Gary Payton II. Gonna kick it out to Grayson Allen. And he's going to try to shake Morant. Does a pretty good job, and he gets the deep 2 to go. 24-14. Now here's Morant getting a pick himself, and he's going to put in the floater to make it 24-16. Now under 2 minutes to go. Here's Gary Payton II pulling up. Deep 3, no good. Rebounded by Michael Evans. He goes back up with it and gets it to go. So 28-16 is our score now. And Morant with an open lane slams it down, and that will be the end of the first quarter. The Kings lead 28-18, looking to pull off the upset here. So now we're into the second quarter. Grizzlies with the basketball. Here's Morant looking for the pick, and he's just gonna fire it, and he gets it to go. That's gonna be a deep 2, so it's 28-20. So now the Kings with the basketball. Allen gonna pass to KCP, and just decides to fire it, and he gets it to go. So it's 30-20, now 34-22, and here's Morant doing his best to keep the Grizzlies in the game now as they trail by 10. And now Grayson Allen going to take it down the baseline, and he gets the layup to go. So now 36-24 is our score. Now here's Kawhi pulling up, and he's going to get the bucket to go. So the Grizzlies staying pretty persistent in this one. They're down 10 once again. But Buddy Hield going to hit the 3 off of the pick by Marvin Bagley. So now 39-26 is the score. And here's Hield again with another 3. The Kings up 42-26. And now here's Grayson Allen with a 3. And the Kings are starting to bury the Grizzlies. They're up 18. So it's a nice lead, Kings. It'd be a shame to blow it here as Enes Kanter gets right by Bagley for the layup. So now it's down to a 16-point lead, now a 14-point lead for the Kings. But now here's Hield pulling up for three with a hand in his face, and he still drains it. So it's a 17-point lead now for the Kings. But now here's a three right back at him. And now it's a 10-point game once again. So 4.5 to go in the first half, and here's the mitten hitting a deep two. So 50-38 is the score now, under 4 minutes to go, and here's Brooks passing inside to Kawhi, and he's going to slam it down. Kuzma's been a bit of a disappointment so far, at least in the played games. So he's going to have to pick it up if he wants to last on this roster, as Leonard with a turnaround jumper gets it to go, and the Grizzlies starting to come back a little bit. It's 50-44, and now here's Ja running in transition, just pulls up, no good, and Cantor going to slam it down on the putback to make it 50-46. So now KCP with the off-balance shot gets it to go. 52-46 is the score now. And now about a minute to go in the half, and Kawhi with a step back, and it's no good, but Cantor tips it in. So the Grizzlies now within 4. Now Clark inside, can't get it, and then Cantor puts it back in with authority. And now what was once an 18-point game is now just a 2-point game, but KCP going to do his part to keep the Kings in the lead as he hits a three there to make it a 5-point game. And now Cantor going to get right by Michael Evans. And it's pretty clear that the Kings need an upgrade at center, at least as far as backing up Bagley goes, as the Grizzlies say one more mid-range jumper with about 0.6 to go. And the Kings' lead is disintegrated, but they still lead at halftime, 57-54. The Kings once held an 18-point lead, but now just lead by 3, as the Grizzlies had a really furious comeback in the second half. But we'll see if the Kings can hold on to it here, as Fox passes out to a wide-open Buddy Hield, and he's going to hit the three in the corner, make it 60-54. And now Harrison Barnes going to hit a three. He's been pretty quiet so far this season, at least in played games. And now it's a 9-point lead for the Kings. But now here's Leonard working against Barnes. He pulls up from close range, and he gets it to go. So it's 63-56 now. So now here are the Grizzlies running in transition. Ja's wide open in the corner. That's been a problem all season for the Kings. And now here's Onyeka Okongwu finally coming up with a bucket. He's been pretty quiet so far today. Now it's an 8-point lead for the Kings. Now Kawhi working against 2 defenders. Can't make the bucket, but Jaren Jackson puts it back to make it 67-61. It's now a 4-point deficit, and Valanciunas is going to dunk it for the Grizzlies to make it a 2-point game. So the Grizzlies have come all the way back. Here's the pass inside. Valanciunas again ties the ball game up at 67. Now the Kings with the ball, trying to preserve the lead here, and De'Aaron Fox going to do just that. Hits the three to make it 70-67. Now Fox again. Deep two, no good. Rebounded by Bagley. He goes back up with it and makes it a 5-point game. So now the Kings just have to play defense here. Clark going to back up and pulls up from mid-range, and he gets it to go. So it's a 3-point game once again. Grizzlies have made this pretty close. And now here's a deep two from Caldwell Pope, and he makes it a 5-point game once again. And now here's Caldwell Pope from the corner, and he drains it. So now 77-69 is the score. Kings just have to make some defensive plays, but they're going to let Jones hit this three in the corner to make it 77-72. Now here's Kuzma. Passes inside to Fox. Back to Kuzma, and he's going to slam it down. So Kuzma making a few plays here. 7-point game, about 3 minutes to go in the third. And now Jones going to pass it to Brooks, who's wide open in the corner. And again, that is just going to be the death of this Kings team, just not being able to protect the perimeter. I know a lot of teams shoot a lot of threes, but it's like, again, Clark wide open, this time from the wing, and he's going to make it a 1-point game. And the Kings are just very close to blowing this one. But now here's Kuzma passing over to KCP in the corner. The former Lakers connect on that three to make it 82-78. Now here's Kawhi with the turnaround over Kuzma to make it a 2-point game. Under a minute to go in the third quarter, and Grayson Allen going to pull up, no good from three. And now here are the Grizzlies running in transition. Morant going to pass to Leonard and passes inside to Clark. He's going to kick it out to Morant, and he's going to hit the three to give the Grizzlies an 83-82 lead. So the Kings have successfully squandered an 18-point lead. KCP going to hit a three, however, to put them back up, for now at least. But the way this Grizzlies team's looking, it doesn't look like it's going to last very long, and it doesn't. We're tied at 85 as we head into the fourth quarter. So will the fourth quarter be the Kings quarter? We'll have to see. Well, this three is totally on me because I pulled Bagley away from Clark there, so he had a wide open three. That's on me. But I mean, usually it's just the CPU not doing anything. So a nice mid-range jumper there makes it a 5-point game in favor of the Grizzlies. The Kings get some free throws to make it a 3-point game, and Brooks going to get right inside against Hield, and it's a 5-point Grizzlies lead. So now here's Bagley putting it up, and he's trying to keep the Kings in this game. They're down by 3 now, but the Grizzlies are in their bag right now, and Morant really in his bag, slamming that one down. And the Grizzlies now lead by 7, and Fox trying to keep the Kings in the game, misses that 3. And the Grizzlies run the transition, get some free throws. Fox again for 3, this time he drains it. So now it's a 6-point deficit for the Kings. And now we just got to play some defense, but Kawhi going to get right by Harrison Barnes. Makes it an 8-point game. And Fox going to pull up, hits the deep 2, and broken nose and all, De'Aaron Fox is doing what he can to keep the Kings in this game. They trail by 6. But can they make a stop here? Kawhi gonna pull up, and he's gonna drain it. Harrison Barnes just cannot contain Kawhi Leonard right now. But now here's Barnes pulling up for 3, and he drains it. So the Kings not going away quietly. They're down by 5 now. They just got to make a stop here. But almost immediately, Morant takes it right to the rack to make it a 7-point game. So now the Kings got to make something happen here. Bagley going to block Morant. And now the Kings in transition. And here's a 3 from Barnes, and it's no good. Man, the Kings just cannot make buckets when they really need to. And now here's Morant down the other side. Going to pass it to Valanciunas, who pulls up from the free throw line, and it's good. So now a 9-point lead for the Grizzlies. 5:33 to go. And here's the pass over to Jackson, and he's going to get the layup to go. So now a double-digit lead for the Grizzlies after they're trailing by 18 at one point in this game. And the Kings are not going to go away quietly as Hield hits the 3, but they just got to play some defense and stop Leonard and Morant from hitting 3s like this. But it's like you would have thought that I'm asking the Kings to like do brain surgery or something like that, the way that they're just not stopping anybody. An 11-point game under 4 minutes to go, and a wide open deep 2 going to make it 115 to 102. And the Kings are just getting run off the court now. Here's a deep 3 just because. No good. I mean, that's kind of just a desperation shot at this point. And now Leonard down the other side. He's going to get a very tough layup to go in. It just seems like the Grizzlies are having everything go their way, and the Kings just aren't making anything when they need to. And now Brooks going to lay it up. And that's pretty much going to do it. They're up 17 at this point. Under 2 minutes to go. There's no way the Kings are coming back in this game. And Valanciunas is going to pretty much solidify that by getting that putback. So our final score from Sacramento is 125-104. The Grizzlies just dominate this game after trailing by as many as 18. I mean, blown leads are going to happen in the NBA, especially when it's a team that's really inexperienced with playing with the lead, like the Kings. But I mean, it's just disappointing to lose a game like this. Looking at the final stats, Buddy Hield had 19 points, 5 of 11 from the field. All 5 of his makes were 3-pointers, and he was 4 for 4 from the charity stripe. De'Aaron Fox had 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal as well, but he didn't shoot very well from the field. 6 of 24 overall, 2 of 11 from 3-point range, and that definitely hurt the Kings in this one. Grayson Allen had 16 points, 6 of 14 from the field, and 2 of 8 from 3-point range. Not a very good performance from him either. On the other side, Morant, 28 points, 5 rebounds, and 13 assists, and he was 11 of 22 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3-point range. Kawhi Leonard, 27 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 12 of 24 from the field. And double-doubles from both Jonas Valanciunas and Enes Kanter. Valanciunas had 13 points, 15 rebounds. Kanter had 10 and 10 and 2 blocks in this one. So a dominant performance, especially in the third and fourth quarter for the Grizzlies. And overall, the difference really was those rebounds. as the Grizzlies had more defensive rebounds than Kings had total rebounds. And if you can't rebound, then you're probably not going to beat a team like the Grizzlies. So now in the sim games, the Kings would bounce back and beat the Nets 119-92. 26 points from Marvin Bagley, along with 7 rebounds, 4 assists. De'Aaron Fox had 22. Kuzma had a double-double with 13 points, 10 rebounds. On the other side, Kyrie Irving with a game-high 39 points, 5 rebounds and 4 assists as well. He also had 5 turnovers, however, and Kevin Durant, not a very good game from him, 13 points and 4 turnovers, 4 of 14 from the field, including 0-4 from three-point range. And the Kings were able to dominate due to their high percentage of field goals, 54%, to the Nets' 42. The Kings would win their next game, heading over to Minnesota and beating the Timberwolves 113-103 despite a 14-point first quarter. And De'Aaron Fox with 28 points, 6 assists in this one. Marvin Bagley had 16 and 16. Okongwu had 14 and 11. On the other side, Bullard had 22 points for the T-Wolves. House had 20, and Halliburton had 17. But just not a lot of scoring from the Timberwolves, even though they did have 40 in the third quarter. But it wasn't enough to get the victory in this one. And they shot 39% from the field. Yeah, you're not going to win very many games shooting like that. Even though the Kings shot 46% and weren't that much better, they were good enough to get the victory in this one. And Marvin Bagley now has a lower back bruise. This isn't an injury that's going to keep him out for a long time, and he can actually play through it. But I just feel like overall, Bagley and company need a few days off in order to heal up. So we might have to sit him for a few games. The Pelicans did offer us Gurovic and a second-round pick in 2023 for Michael Evans. And even though Michael Evans isn't a very good center, I still want to keep him around to hopefully develop him into a good one. And then we get another injury with Onyeka Okongwu suffering a sprained right ankle. He's going to be day-to-day, so this is another injury he can probably play through, but do I really want to risk anybody getting hurt this early in the season? Not necessarily. They all do play in the next game, however, and the Kings would end up losing 106-114 against the Phoenix Suns. Marvin Bagley had 23 points, 10 rebounds in this one, but he did have 5 turnovers, which really hurt the team. On the other side, Devin Booker had 34 points, 11 of 25, 6 of 14 from three-point range. Killian Hayes had 21, DeAndre Ayton 19 points, 16 rebounds. So a dominant performance by the Suns, especially in that second half where they scored 35 points in the third, 34 points in the fourth. And the Kings actually had a higher field goal percentage, but the Suns really made their money at the free throw line. So with all the injuries that we have, I decided to sign Bismack Biyombo, who actually fits pretty well into the Kings system. And he's going to sign for the league minimum. He's 29 years old, so we can still probably get some good years out of him before he starts dropping down in progression. Now, looking at the MVP race right now, you got Luka Doncic, who's pretty much dominating it, in my opinion. 35.3 points per game, 11.4 rebounds per game, and 9.2 assists per game. Giannis is right behind him, as is Steph Curry, John Morant, and Kat. So for the Rookie of the Year race, we actually have Onyeka Okongwu in the battle right now. He's averaging a double-double this season so far, but James Wiseman, Anthony Edwards, Cole Anthony, and LaMelo Ball are also in the race. So we'll have to see what happens as far as Rookie of the Year goes, and we'll have to see if we can actually win one of our played games. The Kings are sitting at 12-16 on the season, still 2.5 games out of the last spot in the West. And we'll have to see if the Kings can find a way into the playoffs this year. So if you guys are hyped for the next game in the Kings series, then make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe if you are new to the channel, and turn your notifications on to join the notification gang. That way, every time I upload a video, you guys will be notified. And we will keep that mofo rolling here on Craniac Gaming, and if you want to see more from the channel, then check out the playlist in front of you.
I've been suffering in silence, and they paid me no mind. I've been stuck inside the shadows for a really long time. It feels like they forgot about me. Well, I'm here to remind you that the world is gonna hear me when it's my time to shine.